and the argument, right? So, of course, we know that arguments are, me and you arguing over something, as in this picture. But in your essay, it's not too far. You are debating in a way. You're saying this is my position and this is why I think it's true. I think it's right. So in that regard, and then if you go into certain fields like politics, or if you are, I don't know if any of you are you in a debating club? Yeah. So then there you go. You
I
do
tried. Yes,
right.
I'm not in debate club, but in philosophy class we tried
Exactly.
to debate.
Yeah. Exactly. So you got different positions, different perspectives, and there are different arguments that you bring forth, and people don't agree, and it does become arguments at times, right? That you're angry with each other because they're like, you're wrong, I'm right, no, I'm right, you're wrong, right? So you've got that too with in your writing, right? The sorts of arguments that you have. Oops, sorry for the background noise there. Neighbors, kids. So yeah, so you've got the argument is really important, as I said already. So planning for your essay, you build around your argument, but your argument, of course, is in answering your question, right? So that's important as well. And you do this through an introduction. You do this through your body and the conclusion. We've already discussed that. So introductions. Drum roll. So introductions, you really need to clearly state what it is that you're doing. Okay, so that's what introductions really are. So what is your argument? How are you going to argue your point? You present your argument succinctly, and that's really difficult to do. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. And you briefly tell the reader how your essay is going to be organized. Right? So that's how introductions work. That's what is supposed to be an introduction. And even if you're not really good at writing introductions yet, having that framework in your mind that this is what an introduction is really important. And this you will do your whole life. And yeah, literally your whole life. I mean, I told you I'm pursuing a PhD. I write essays all the time, but that hasn't changed. Introductions might be long or short, depending on the kind of writing you're doing, or I mean the kind of document that it is. A shorter essay of, let's say, 500 words is going to have a shorter introduction, obviously, to a really long document of several pages, several, maybe tens of thousands of words. But at the end of the day, introductions are basically the same thing. You present clearly what you're doing, you present your argument succinctly, and you tell the reader briefly how the essay is going to be organized, what the structure is going to be. And briefly is really important as well, because it needs to be really clear to the reader, to your audience, that you're not going off explaining everything in the introduction. You're just stating, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And in a minute we're going to practice this, and you will see for yourself how to go about it. The body is made up of paragraphs. And later on, maybe I think tomorrow, we're going to look into how to structure paragraphs. Or maybe, no, I think, tomorrow we're going to do that. So it's made up of paragraphs. These paragraphs need to be organized coherently. So there needs to be a thread running through to make it really clear, this is what I'm doing, as I've stated in my introduction, and I'm actually rolling it out. And you can see it play out in the essay. Through the paragraphs is also where you answer the question. You need to make sure that, yes, you're arguing something clearly, but that you're answering the question, right? So your argument needs to be centered on the question, and your paragraphs need to tackle the question.